Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Big Chill Podcast, the Spotify situation. All right, boys, episode 5, you know what that means. We'll come right out and say it. We are now on Spotify. It's a big milestone check for us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, who knows, maybe Barstool's next. Eddie will be pumped about that one, I'm sure. So let's say hi to everyone. Eddie, how's it going? I can see you're very much in tune on the United match, so hopefully you can give us your full attention.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm focused. But yeah, there's 7 minutes left of the 90 in the United match, so 0-0. So all to play for there. Bit surprising because obviously United were pretty heavy favorites, so they've not. I was saying to Sam before that they're a little bit feast or famine. So this is definitely the famine for United right now. And I'm also just going to say, no way to Barstool, no matter how much money they throw at us. No Barstool. But as this is the Spotify situation and Spotify have been buying up podcasts, if Spotify want to buy us, that's fine.
Why don't you want to go on Barstool so bad?
Because I'm not a racist.
He loves Barstool so much that he doesn't want to, ruin the love he has for it by being put into the Barstool family. He likes to be
they say objective. Exactly. They say never meet your heroes, right? And so it would be really weird to just suddenly be kind of an equal on with so many incredible big J journalists.
Sam, how's it going with you?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been absolutely baking in the UK since we were last on a podcast, but doing pretty good. Watched some of the golf. How did you both find it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best majors in a long time. I mean, the fact that you had multiple for basically the entire final day, it was a 6-way tie almost. I mean, it was incredible to watch. And the really satisfying thing to me too, because you had the fear with maybe 3 or 4 holes to go that someone was going to win because the other players messed up. And in the end, I think it was great the fact that Morikawa won because he came up with 2 incredible shots. And so I think, that's nice for him. I mean, I doubt he would have really cared. But also, like Paul Casey was, when you listen to him being interviewed as soon as he walked off the 18th green, I think for him to accept the fact that you finished second, but it was because someone else was brilliant for a moment, is a lot easier to deal with than to think that you got a bogey or a double bogey with, 1 or 2 holes to play.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he definitely won it as opposed to other people losing it and him kind of just holding on. The only thing I'll say against that is it also would have been really neat to have a 5-person playoff or something crazy. Because at one point it looked like it was going to be a 6 to 7-person playoff. That would have just been bonkers to watch. It would have been so
also
neat.
With the format that they have for that, because the situation there, right, is it's not a sudden death playoff. It's 3 holes. It was going to be the 16, 17, 18. And also, no matter how big the playoff was going to be, they were all going to play at the same in one big group. So you had this prospect that there were going to be like 7 players playing the same hole at the same time.
It would have been really cool. That would have been a really unique, cool situation. But otherwise, yeah, it was really fun to watch. Unfortunately, I didn't have Morikawa backed, which sucked. Eddie had tipped it to me at the start of round 4. I took Champ and Scheffler, who both played decent. I mean, at least they were in it for most of it. Champ had that double bogey that just destroyed him. I think that kind of mentally knocked him out of it a little bit, but he played pretty well, and Scheffler played really good. He was up at 11 under for a while. Or even, did he get up to 12? No, I think it was like 11. He was tied for the lead for a good portion. So it was, for me, it made it entertaining to watch. I didn't have much. I mean, just a little bit, just to make it fun to root for someone besides DeChambeau, which was, I guess, the big scare after 4 holes.
Solid. Yeah, solid round.
I was so concerned after 4 holes that he was going to come through, but good thing he didn't.
Just before the podcast as well, we were chatting about Poulter. Mr. Ryder Cup had such a terrible first round, then all of a sudden is way up there in the leaderboard. So that's...
Yeah, if he could have had a halfway decent first round. I mean, obviously he got to play with no pressure on him, although he had the pressure to make the cut after, I think he was 6 over in round 1. But fundamentally, he got to play Saturday and Sunday just as a sort of for fun almost, and just to chase more prize money. So it might have been different. I mean, the one thing you can say is Morikawa got really lucky with the chip in. And that was when he took the lead, that was a big moment. and that probably for him psychologically kind of gave you the sense for him that like it was going to be his day maybe, because he'd messed up the approach, and then in actual fact probably underhit his chip, which is what gave it the momentum to run into the hole. And if he'd actually hit his chip sort of totally purely, would have come a couple feet short. But that was the big moment. And then you could just say, I mean, Bryson in a sense was the only other player, because he tried to do something very similar to Morikawa on the 16th and was a couple of inches away from having exactly the same result. And if he'd been able to get an eagle on 16th, it would have also, I think that would have put him into the lead at the time, and that probably would have changed things as well.
I really liked what they did with that 16th hole. I mean, I always like when there's a hole that's drivable, but I really like the fact that they put it that far back in the course where it could be that game changer, which it obviously was for Morikawa. Like, it completely changed, he won based off of that beautiful shot, and it was an amazing shot. And it's really neat that you have that there. If, you're one or two down, you can start thinking, do I go for it? Do I, lay up and take a really nice approach and get the birdie? So that was a really cool thing. I think Warren Harding would be proud of how they designed that golf course for him with that hole. He's definitely, it's a proud moment for him.
Yeah, Morikawa will be delighted to know that for the rest of his life, his career will be forever tied to such a prestigious president.
Maybe he was inspired by the quiz questions and the facts that you gave us on Thursday.
Yeah, he probably listened to the episode and he thought, if I'm ever going to win a major, this is the one I want. Because how many times are you going to get to play a major on a course named after such an incredible man? So that makes sense. I think we can take some credit for his victory.
So one of the things I was kind of questioning, I guess, that I wanted to see what you guys thought, when they were asking him about his shot on the 16th, he was saying how obviously, he's super pumped about the shot, but it was a little disappointing that there weren't fans there, because that would have been a moment where the place just went insane and was going crazy. And for me, I wonder, he's saying that because obviously he wants the crowd to get into it, but would he have played the same had there been a crowd there with someone who this is only his second major? And I guess the thing you have to think about is a lot of people who were interviewed about him afterwards had said that he was definitely an up-and-comer and they know how good he is and how great he could be. So maybe he, I'm not saying he's the next Tiger Woods, but maybe he's one of those players who has that confidence like Tiger Woods came when he was on the scene when he was, 20, 22 years old. So maybe the crowd would have even helped him more. But it seems to me a little fishy that someone who's never been in a pressure situation like that was upset the crowd wasn't there. Because I think he probably should have been excited the crowd wasn't there, almost, to keep him level toned.
I don't know. I think you would hope that any professional athlete would say, I wish the crowd had been there, because they're going to assume that they wouldn't have crumbled under the pressure. It'd be like a pretty sad statement as a professional golfer to say, thank God no one was here to watch, because otherwise there's no way I could have done that. But yeah, who knows? There were a lot of inexperienced players at the top of the leaderboard. So maybe it would have, it would have played out differently had you had a crowd. At the same time, that also means it's difficult to judge, because fundamentally, with the exception of Dustin Johnson, there was no one involved in the finish who'd done it in a major before with a crowd. And I mean, Paul Casey obviously is an extremely experienced golfer and who's had a lot of success on sort of in match play events. But in terms of majors, he's obviously never won. And so even you could argue that even for someone, he's 20 years older than Morikawa, but it wouldn't have necessarily benefited him to have a crowd there. The only thing I also will say is there wasn't a crowd, but there were a surprising number of people there or in around the course. And Morikawa was obviously the local favorite. I mean, I guess because he went to Berkeley, but whenever he sank a putt, there was an audible noise from either, fans kind of watching around or from people who were kind of volunteering there, I guess. And you didn't have that for all the other players. Yeah,
there was that one hole too where I don't remember what hole it was exactly, but where the players teed off, it was an area where fans could it was close to, I guess, the fence or whatever. And that was always a really cool hole. You'd see people tee off and they would just yell for no matter what the tee shot was, they were just yelling because, like, oh, golf's back, woo! woo! And that was pretty cool to see some of the players kind of interact with them. I know Tiger Woods, they were screaming stuff when Tiger was playing, and he like went over and like was like, yeah, and gave him a nod and a hand wave.
Gave a few
So
girls
that was kind of
his
cool.
phone number.
Yeah.
But wasn't it McElroy said before it started, he was like, regardless of the situation, players can't use the lack of fans as an excuse anymore. Like, they've been playing enough golf now. Like, so what he was basically saying is, my form's been terrible, and I could probably say it's a bit eerie, and that's why it's been a little bit off. But he was saying at this point, I don't think there's many people, if anyone, that can say your golf game would be different whether there's fans there or not. So
I think that's also Rory probably acknowledging the fact that he's run out of excuses.
well, that is him saying that. He's basically come out and he's been
No,
saying
but it's
he's
not
terrible.
just him. It's not just him saying golfers in general can't use the lack of fans as an excuse. He's just basically saying, I can't use anything as an excuse at this point because I've gone from being the next big thing and the person who everyone thought was going to challenge the sort of Nicklaus Major record at one point to now, can he be trusted to make a cut? Is he ever going to be in contention at a major again? I mean, if I had to tell you Rory McIlroy top 5 again in his career in a major or no, I'm not taking total confidence on picking the top 5. You have to assume he's still, young and he's going to have so many majors left in him that you think that he would get there. But there's nothing from his play to make you think that he's ever going to be the force that he once was.
Who do you think could be, I mean, I guess bust is a strong word, but who would have the more disappointing career, do you think? Him or Jordan Spieth?
I would say if we assume that neither one of them wins another major, I think Rory would have had the more disappointing career, because even though Spieth obviously had that sort of two-year period where he looked almost unstoppable and people thought he was the next big thing, I think in terms of all-around talent, McIlroy is the more talented golfer, and he had the distance and he had just sort of more shots in his locker, whereas Spieth was basically a sort of consistent, reliable golfer and an incredible putter. That was kind of what dragged him to win after win. And to me, that feels more like you're tapping. I mean, it kind of downplays the importance of the short game, I guess, but it makes me feel like he was sort of maxing out his talents in that period. Whereas I think, McIlroy was just sort of living up to the kind of quite rightfully high expectations.
Yeah, I guess Spieth never had a video game, right?
Well,
Not yet.
To be fair, that McIlroy version of EA actually doomed the franchise. Like, EA actually then dropped the golf game and they've given the rights away, and there's that new 2K one. So you could argue that
You're
was
blaming
a
that on
really
Rory?
bad move. I mean, it's a curse, right? It was the first game without Woods.
Wait,
and it was their last game that sold terrible.
Are you blaming Rory for the EA Sports downfall, or are you blaming EA Sports for the Rory downfall?
No. I guess I'm calling it a bit of like a Duke of Curse kind of thing, that like
actually,
Rory touched it and it's therefore doomed it.
Rory gets 2 blames in a way there, because not only was he the start of the demise of EA and EA's golfing dominance, but he signed that huge contract with Nike when Nike still made clubs. He signed that sort of $100 million Nike deal, and 6 months later they stopped making clubs. So it was basically just really overpaying him to wear a Nike hat and polo.
So we do have a McIlroy curse.
It's possible. I mean, he's still been successful since both of those things happened. But yeah, you could maybe say that. I don't know if I'd rush to sponsor McIlroy, put it that way. I might feel a little bit worried. If I was weighing up who am I going to have, like Koepka or McIlroy as a sponsorship deal, I think I'd take Koepka.
He was player of the year last year, though.
Oh, no, McIlroy makes – this is the thing, right? People are critical of McIlroy. He makes a ton of money because he is consistent in the sense that he gets a lot of top 20, a lot of top 10 finishes. He wins tournaments in sort of smaller venues from time to time. So he's always up there on the sort of on the FedEx points chase. He's always on prize money. He's always right up there. So I don't think there's a lot of players who wouldn't switch careers with Rory McIlroy. But in terms of, he went from someone who they were talking about winning 10 plus majors, and that's probably not going to happen now.
Yeah, golf is a very it's majors driven in terms of being remembered. I don't think people are going to remember McIlroy's consistent top 10 finishes, 30 years down the line, but they'll remember the amount of opens he won or the amount of majors he won. That's exactly why the most famous people are known for the amount of majors they win.
Yeah, he'll be remembered for ruining the franchise of EA Sports Golf.
And Nike. And Nike's golf.
And Wozniacki.
Did he ruin Wozniacki?
I mean, I don't want to try and imply that their marriage ruined her career, but she definitely had a high moment, and then things fell apart pretty quickly for her.
And now she's retired.
Yeah, I mean, she's married another former athlete too, though. So she's bounced back. She seems to be very happy with her life, but from a tennis playing perspective, things went downhill very quickly for Wozniacki.
I mean, even if that's only like a half truth, that's still 2.5 things that have been linked to the demise of very successful franchises or sporting players.
Now we just have to wait. We just have to wait for the Northern Ireland peace process to totally unravel, and we can blame that on Rory as well. When the troubles come back, we'll know exactly who to blame it on. It won't be Sinn Féin or the IRA. It will be Rory McIlroy.
You heard it here first, right? Oh dear. Okay. So I think we've identified a McIlroy curse. That's kind of interesting.
Just as an update, because I know that our listeners they know that we were going to do this live, so they decided to completely avoid the Europa League scores until they get to hear it from us. But United have gone to extra time against Copenhagen.
Ooh.
That's bad.
Eddie, I was actually going to say, getting into the Rory McIlroy curse or whatever you want to call it, he was, before this tournament, the 5th youngest player to win a major in the modern era. He is now 6th. Can you name the 5 youngest players to win a major? And I will give the caveat that several of them are on the list more than once. So I'm going to say 5 players, not like the youngest winnings with multiple players.
Okay, Woods.
Woods is 1 at 21 years and 3 months of the 97 Masters.
Spieth.
Spieth is 2nd and 3rd for the 2015 Masters and the 2015 U.S. Open. So
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus is 4th at the 1962 U.S. Open.
Now this is going to be the tough.
You're missing just the one because now Morikawa would be in there.
Yeah, this is a tough to think about who it could be. I'll go for Koepka.
Is not Koepka.
Is it a modern someone recent? Is this player still active?
No.
Okay.
No. Then I'm probably not going to get them.
Well, I was going to say he's probably one of the greatest European players ever.
Seve?
Yep.
Seve?
Okay.
Yes.
I just wouldn't have put, I don't know why I just associate Seve with like late wins for some reason. I don't know why.
He actually had 2. He had the 1979 Masters, he was 22, and the 79 British Open, he was 22, and 1980 Masters, he was 23.
Got it.
Not bad.
Not bad.
That will be the last golf top 5 for a long time. We've run out of top 5 things to talk about in golf.
I mean, what's next for major-wise? Like, how does it work now? Have they talked about like the calendar? Is it changing? What have they? Because I know that they're still, because the Ryder Cup got delayed as well, right? So I don't know what they've done with the golfing calendar. Like, does anyone know?
Well, the calendar's been rearranged. They're playing all of the majors. I think, yeah, because. But I don't off the top of my head. I don't know the order.
Yeah, so it's we just did the PGA Championship. Then the U.S. Open is September 17th. That was originally supposed to be in June, and then the Masters is in November, and then the Open is canceled.
Just for a bit of live drama, United have been awarded a penalty in the 3rd minute of extra time. It's a real thriller here. It's a real thriller.
The sigh in the middle of that sentence really showed that it's kind of depressing. So
I mean,
what is this?
they probably have warranted it because they did hit the woodwork a couple of times. They had a goal disallowed for offside. So, I mean, Copenhagen have been good, but United have been the better team. But you'd have to assume if they can go ahead this early in extra time, that it's probably over.
Oh, okay. So half an
Or you
hour
think
left, right?
Yeah, 20, 25 minutes, I suppose, by the time it's taken. But yeah, I don't think it's the boldest decision in the world to say that if United go ahead in extra time, that it's probably over.
Okay. Just remember our previous chat where you were saying 70 minutes and you're still drawing. You would still not favour the draw. So you're okay with 20 minutes, but not 25 with a team that's going out, like kind of all or nothing?
Yes, when the team that's better is winning, and Bruno Fernandes has scored, so it's 1-0.
Look at that.
So I'll tell you what was pretty neat for me actually watching the golf. I had like 2 or 3 people over because of COVID situations. You have to not really have any parties or anything like that. But I had some people come over, go in the pool and things like that, and we ended up setting up 2 TVs in my living room so we could watch the golf. And we could watch Game 5 of the hockey, the Maple Leafs versus the Blue Jackets. So not only did I get to watch my PGA Championship pick lose in the back 9, I then got to finish that off by watching the Maple Leafs get knocked out of the playoffs, which was very annoying. And they outplayed the Blue Jackets the entire game and just could not put the puck in the net. So it was a very frustrating game to watch. But it's nice to have a lot of sports back on and be able to go back and forth and watch exciting things again. The other aspect of watching the Maple Leafs lose was my prediction of my hockey bet officially went 0 for 4. So
pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm thinking it starts the next round of the playoffs, which would be the official first round, starts Wednesday, I believe. So maybe on the next podcast, I can give my picks and you guys can randomly pick and we can see who does better.
Well, here's the thing is my picks, even though I don't follow hockey, would probably not be as totally random. But I would just want to say that you can go head to head with Sam. And if Sam wins that, we will never talk about hockey again.
Oh, this is a
And
lot of pressure.
I will further caveat it, and I will say that I will do absolutely no research on NHL.
Yeah, we'll just do live. You'll just do live picks.
I will do live, and it will be name. I will just pick a name, and I will say they will win. And if you want to, is it just win? Like this shows the extent of my
just win the series.
Just win the series. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it's best of 3 or 5.
Best of 7.
Best of 7.
Yeah. So Sam's gonna be like that.
Does that change the way you pick?
Absolutely not. Just curious about how many games there are. So I am just going to give
like the Islanders could win 5. they could win a best of 5, but they couldn't win a best of 7.
Tell you what, let's do it that way. That if I can pick the correct. So do they always play the full 7, or say if a team goes 4 up, do they just stop it?
Yeah, they stop playing. They don't make you just get pounded into the ground. Hey, I know your season's over, but you're going to play another 3 now. And definitely
the first
don't try
to win 4.
Yeah, and definitely don't try and injure anyone on the other team in this pointless game that you're being forced to play.
Try not to do anything spiteful. Okay. All right,
just imagine Roy Keane in a game 7, 6 down in the series.
Okay, let's do it like that then. So your very integrity for ice hockey's on the line now.
Yeah, I mean if you
there's a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, if you can't beat someone just choosing purely based with zero knowledge, then you can't discuss the sport in a publicly recorded forum.
But then
I'm literally picking against.
Every shot I have is 50-50, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's not entirely unfeasible. Your shot
is 50-50, but Frank's shot shouldn't be 50-50. I mean,
my shot's 0 to 100 with the 0 heavy favored.
Like, Eddie, where's your money going on that?
I would have to take Frank because it's just if he can't beat but essentially a monkey picking hockey games.
No, it's
But
like
it-
it's like
it
that
would be-
octopus in
Yeah,
the World
exactly.
Cup.
It's
Why,
like the
why
octopus
couldn't you
that would
just say?
pick the one or
Why
the
could
other.
you? Why could you just say a guy that knows nothing about NHL?
Okay,
Why do you
no.
have to?
You're that world. Yeah, you're that World Cup octopus that from
You're
the
Sam the
2010
octopus.
2010 Sam the Squid.
Sam
You're
the
up-
Squid.
Sam the Squid versus Frank, and we'll
So
see.
you're
but
not quite as smart as an octopus, but you're close. You're at squid level.
yeah.
Brutal.
All right, I like it. So next
Character
podcast,
design.
get ready for a nice NHL preview / NHL completely random prediction.
Exactly. But and it's fitting too, right? Because don't they throw octopi onto the rink in some places?
Yes, the Detroit Red Wings do. Yep.
There you go. So
Is the plural octopi?
I believe the plural's octopi.
I don't think it's octopussy.
Well, why can't it just be octopuses? Why-
I mean, I
like-
should know this, right? Because you can figure it out whether it's from Greek or Latin, but I'm pretty sure it's octopi.
But yeah, it was a good first round of the playoffs. So the only thing, Sam, well, actually, I would be even at a more advantage, Eddie. So this is why I'll be even better because they'll have played the first games in some of the series. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll know the first game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Sam
I
won't
mean-
even know the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can have a that much of an advantage, because just by Frank picking every team that won game one, he significantly shifts his chances of being right.
Well, that's the problem, though, right? So why can't I look at who won? I won't know if they're better.
No,
or not.
because
Yeah, you,
no, he can't.
No?
Because
Okay.
if he looks at who wins and then just picks the team that won game one, we wouldn't say that he had no knowledge, right? Because he could assume that the team that won game one might have been the better team, or whatever, however you want to say, and you'll be able to kind of wiggle out of it by being like, oh well, look, he picked teams that are already winning their series. That's not me losing against someone who knew nothing.
But Frank,
So
they
I think what we'll do is I'll just say the two teams. Sam the Squid makes his pick, and then after that, I can tell what the seedings are of the teams, if they have played a game, what the series is at, and then like whatever else. But
Yeah,
Sam
what
gets
the
literally
odds
just the
are.
two team names.
Well, here's the thing is, so we'll do it. We'll do the picks. I will orchestrate this because I don't want you to try and sort of say team names in some weird way that influences Sam somehow.
yeah, this
but-
terrible team versus this great team.
Yeah, exactly. This
Trying
team
to
I would
bluff me out
totally
of it.
pick against this team that I would never pick.
The mighty Blackhawks.
Exactly. So no, I'll be doing that. But then afterwards, we'll just basically calculate what the odds are of your respective selections. So that will be the fairest way. So you, whatever it is, a fourfold that you guys have put together, your accumulator and or parlay, and then we'll just work out, who has the longest odds of being correct. And if Sam beats you, and even if that's 1 series to 0, just to be clear, hockey's off the table for you.
All right, I'm confident.
Okay.
And if you beat Sam, then Sam gets called Sam the Squid for a while.
Sam the Squid.
Why do I lose out here?
Sam has to be a squid for Halloween.
Exactly, yeah.
Sam hasn't dressed up for Halloween in 20 years, but he has to dress up this year as a squid.
I've dressed up for Halloween.
What were you last year?
A couple of years ago, I went as Bane from Batman.
Oh, so you had a squid on your face, so it's not far off.
Were you like a
Talking
miniature
through the
Bane?
squid, just talking through the squid in this weird accent. What do you mean a miniature Bane? I'm not as tall. I can't help that. Unless I
To be
get
fair,
those.
Tom Hardy isn't that tall either. He wore
But he-
platform shoes to play Bane.
But he was also like pretty bulky.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, he was jacked, but he's not a huge guy. I mean, I didn't realize you were calling him miniature Bane because of his muscle mass. I thought it was more of a criticism of his overall size.
Just overall, he's a smaller sized Bane.
He was pre total rage Bane, like before Bane got really motivated. So he was just
Before he climbed out of the hole.
exactly.
When
He
Bane was
like-
just in his everyday job in Gotham. Like,
yeah, exactly. Before he was even put in the hole.
Yeah.
You should not even have worn the.
No,
the-
he was born in the hole. Come on.
I wouldn't wear. Yeah, that
I
would be a
don't know.
great. That would be the best Halloween outfit, wouldn't it? Like, who are you, Bane? And I'm just in a suit. And they're like, but you're not Bane. It's like, well, yeah, but this was when he was working in like just administration in Gotham.
Speaking of Batman, who do you think's the better Batman? George Clooney or Joss Butler?
I was
Without a
actually
doubt.
waiting for like a genuine like Batman question there.
No,
But
I'm not a dork.
no. Wow.
That's
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
If you like Batman movies and you're listening to this, find a new podcast.
I mean, the George Clooney Batmans were pretty bad, right?
They're actually my favorites. Just for again, I know we talked about Happy Gilmore and nostalgia last week, but
Which one? The one with Mr.
the one
Freeze?
with Mr. Freeze, yeah.
Fantastic.
That
What
is
was
your
it?
favorite Batman, the one with Mr. Freeze?
I wouldn't. I don't mean favorite in the sense that I think it's the best, but favorite in the sense that I have the fondest memories of it. Yeah.
It isn't in that Batman, Mr. Freeze uses the saying "ice to meet you," and it's
What could be better?
There is a painful amount of bad puns in that one. It's what was it? Joel Schumacher, wasn't it, that directed?
What an incredible cast! You know, probably the best Batman cast of all time.
I mean, that part can't be argued. It probably is the best cast of people, best ensemble of actors.
The Batman suit had nipples. Best suit of all time.
It did, didn't it? Robin was hyper camped up.
Does that mean you can milk
As
Batman?
he should be. You could have milked Batman, yeah. Robin probably did milk Batman.
There's some tension between those two, right?
Well, yeah, the concept of Robin, right? He has to be a little bit camped up because he's this like little guy who's decided that he just wants to idolize and follow another superhero and get dressed up in suits together and go and fight crime. If you don't camp him up, it's a little bit strange.
But he's really good on the trapeze.
Yeah, he's got that going for him.
Was that Mr. Freeze was the one with, what was it?
It's
Poison
Mr.
Ivy
Freeze
was
as
Uma Thurman, wasn't it?
Thurman.
Uma Thurman, yeah.
And the Riddler is
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
That is one of the standout, wackiest performances, and it was just so good. I completely agree with you with Jim Carrey's Riddler is one of the best Batman cinematic kind of franchise enemies.
They're bringing the Riddler back, I think. I think the next Batman's gonna
most
have the Riddler.
overrated Batman franchise nemesis. Who would you go for?
Overrated? Do you mean in terms of like their skill in the universe or like the actor?
Either one. You can choose. Either how is this person possibly competing with Batman, or the fact that this person gets. So, for example, for me, it's Heath Ledger's Joker.
Why? I mean, are you just doing it for the sake of controversy?
No, I'm not.
It's a fantastic
just,
performance.
It's fine. He's playing the Joker in a Batman movie. People treat it like it was like the greatest acting performance of all time.
Oh,
it's definitely one of the few times it's been closely resembling the comic. Is what people say. He genuinely is a terrifying Joker, and that's what's so good about it. Yeah, I'd say so. He's very maniacal, and I think it's really well done. But going back to your question about the overrated, honestly, I don't really understand Two-Face. He just flips a coin and then shoots the guy if it lands on. I mean, fundamentally, what is he doing apart from having a good amount of political stature and able to get some hired goons, which Gotham has got an ample amount. But then fundamentally, he just tosses a coin and shoots you.
You have to say overall, the villains in Batman, they're not exactly like a who's who of like vicious people.
I mean,
they're all
let's go
bizarre.
through some of them. One of them is the Penguin, who's just a little guy that resembles a penguin. You have Cillian Murphy plays a character where he puts on a potato sack on his head and sprays people with drugs.
That's the problem with Scarecrow, though. He actually has the capacity to probably do the most damage because he just deals with toxins. Like, if he wanted to just level Gotham in toxins, he could. And that was one of the first...
But instead, he just puts a potato sack on his head.
Okay, less about his appearance, more about his execution, right? So you're going Heath Ledger's Joker?
No, when I say that, obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker in many ways is the most terrifying in terms of real world implications for what they were doing. Like, how difficult would it be to stop the equivalent of the Joker? I just mean from the standpoint that everyone raves about it as literally having been the greatest performance of all time. And to me, it's perfectly decent. It's just not, I wouldn't put it in my top 50 acting performances.
What did you think of the new Joker movie?
I didn't watch it.
Pardon? You didn't watch it?
The new Joker movie? No, I didn't want to support a movie that that sort of glorified mental illness.
Well, that ended that conversation.
Hey, I never take the easy way out. I'm always gonna. Yeah, we'll just say that there. I'm not gonna dig a deeper hole for myself.
All right, I'm gonna go to a different one. Frank, another sporting. Did you watch cricket?
Oh, not only did I watch the cricket, I took a wise man's advice on who to back in the cricket. The one rolling his eyes on the screen right now. Comment?
It's not me, by the way, viewers.
So, I mean, my comment is the same, which is that I thought the more value when the odds when they started on Saturday morning, and Pakistan were just under evens and England were just over evens. To me, the clear value was Pakistan. I think it's always one of those bizarre things about a test match, but you'll look at a total being chased of 250 to 300, and on paper it just looks easy because you think most of the time a test match side goes out and scores at least 250 runs. But the reality is they're not chased down very often. That was one of England's highest all-time run chases in test match cricket. And so you just, and when England were 115 for 6 or whatever it was, or for 5.
5, yeah.
At that point, Pakistan were overwhelming favorites. And the fact that I think they just, obviously Butler and Wilkes played very well. I also think that Pakistan just kind of lost the plot a little bit.
They bowled. The reason they were in this game was because of how well they bowled for like the first 4 days. They were just absolutely tearing this pitch up. And the thing was, like the reason I agree with Eddie's point of value at that was that Pakistan were bowling well and the pitch was doing everything that suggested that they would continue to be able to bowl that well. For me, I took England at 6-4 when they just lost the second wicket. What was that, like 96 for 2 or something like that? I think they had England.
Yeah, I mean, at that point,
6-4.
Because before the fall of the second wicket, I would have made them favourites. And I think they were betting favourites at that point. Then the second wicket kind of balanced things out. But at that point, yeah, they'd knocked off a third of the score. So it was realistic at that point to think that they could chase it down.
Yeah. It was a very un-England way of winning a classic England debacle of a test match that they got themselves into in the first place. Like usually, Eddie and I have had loads of chats about this. It's almost a lock until this test match to bet against England in the first test because they're terrible. They did it against the West Indies and they've done it against countless other teams. They just seem to be absolutely atrocious in the first test and then get their act together and do better in the next test. But this one they seem to have been doing everything they could to lose. And then all of a sudden, whether it's through Pakistan's poor execution or finishing off of a game or England's, well, let's be honest, Butler and Wokes stand, it was kind of a nice surprise. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, Flash Scores had a pretty good stat. I thought you would enjoy this. It was the 11th time in Test history that England have made a century partnership for the 6th wicket or lower in the 4th innings of a match. So wait. No, but here's the good part about that stat. The last time it happened was in 2010. Do you want to guess who one of those players was?
I think the last time it happened, off the top of my head, I feel like it would have been when 2010? Oh, I guess that wasn't the 4th innings of a test match. So no, I retract my guess.
It was Ian Bell and the man himself, Paul
Oh, Paul Collingwood.
Collingwood.
Oh, dear.
I mean, that.
Well, there
that's
you have the point. The fact that Paul Collingwood was coming in that late in the order shows what a player he was.
Yep, against South Africa.
Paul Collingwood, a hero.
And
of cricket,
interestingly, Paul Collingwood is also on Eddie's shit list, just like Josh Butler is also on Eddie's shit list.
Joss. I have nothing against anyone out there called Josh Butler.
Sorry, Josh.
Just some guy in Preston fuming at the moment.
Who Eddie said should not even be on test matches because he's completely useless.
So
no. I mean, you have to contextualize my completely useless statement. I don't think he's the best wicketkeeper from purely a wicket-keeping standpoint. He proved that in this test match because he made several mistakes behind the stumps. I mean, fundamentally, if you kind of balanced his mistakes out with the runs that he scored, I'd still say he had a net negative for the test match. But then, he doesn't have the mentality necessary usually for test match cricket. And I think he was probably helped in a way by the fact that in the situation in which he came in, it was sort of, we're probably going to lose this. So a little bit of pressure's off, play your shots a little bit. There wasn't the requirement to really settle in and grind out a day's batting. And that's where he just doesn't have it in him. So in a first inning situation, for example, if he comes in and England are, 33 for 4 or something, he just doesn't have the mentality necessary to think, I've got to sit out a tough period, maybe get a couple of these bowlers, sort of sit them out until they're, someone else is coming in. He just can't do it. He just has to play that one speed all the time. And when it works, it's amazing. I'm not going to deny, for example, his white ball cricket skills are incredible. But for test match cricket, I think there are better options out there.
I feel like he's done it before, though, Butler, in test cricket. I'm pretty sure there was another one where he had a stand. I always want to say Ben Stokes because the problem with him and Ben Stokes are they've had so many stands across multiple formats, but I'm certain they've done it in like test once against like India, where they had like
he'll do it again. I'm not saying he's terrible. My point is more just
no. You're just saying he's completely useless in test matches.
Yeah, but you can be useless if you play enough test matches. You're gonna have the odd good innings, because like averaging 25 is awful for the. I'm not saying he averages 25, although he probably doesn't average far off 25. But averaging 25 in the place in the order that he bats for England is not good. But if to average 25, it still probably means you're going to hit it. I mean, I think he has one test match century, if I'm right, off the top of my head.
He's been moved around the order so much, though. I think that's one of his problems is because they've never known what to do with him. They don't know whether to bring him in at the top, 4th, 6th. They don't know what to do with him, and I think that has been detrimental to him as well. Because
let me just say to the England selectors, I know what to do with him, and that requires one more move in the order, and that's out of it. he can bat 12th.
12th man.
Yeah, I'm sure he's great at bringing the drinks out. Seems like a nice guy. Probably make a couple of jokes as they all sip on their water bottles. He'd probably be great. Let him do that.
Josh Butler has 1 century in a test match.
Yeah, I think he's got like 7, I guess maybe 18 half centuries after this weekend. Saying that off the top of my head feels like
17.
Oh, close enough.
Good for someone that bats 6th.
He has 9 ODI centuries.
How many innings has he played in test match cricket? Or has he batted, I suppose?
80.
Okay.
So 1 in 4 is half century. That's pretty good.
Is it?
For batting 6th, yes. Because think about support and things like that. He's going to have to attack usually because when you come in 6th, you're not often supported by anyone higher than 3rd, I'd say. You're usually going to have someone either tail end below you or someone in the middle order. So usually it's a very frail position to come in 6th because you're either going to have to be aggressive because your tail can't do anything, or you're going to try and be conservative because the tail can't do anything. That's what I usually find with that position.
I will say his strike rate is pretty bad in tests versus his other.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected. I'm not going to judge him by his strike rate, but his average
but it's substantially lower.
What is his average? Can you see it?
His average is, in a test is 32.
32. Compared to like, I think Root has plummeted recently as well. I think he's gone down to like 40.
Whoa, let's watch on the Root bashing here.
Well, no bashing, but I'm just saying that I think the captaincy changes people in Test cricket. It can really affect averages. I think it happened to Cook as well. When you take on, happened to Strauss for sure. When you take on the England captaincy, generally speaking, your personal game suffers, I find.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I just think they could do better. I mean, the issue is that, for example, Bairstow has obviously been given a chance in test matches and in a way suffers from the same syndrome. So it's not the easiest problem to solve. But it's also a problem that gets highlighted when they take the approach that they had in this latest test match, which is they chose to play an extra bowler. And so if you're going to, which basically meant Josh Butler has to be seen as a primarily chosen, obviously, for his batting abilities. And even someone like Wokes is being chosen and seen as a real all-rounder, which is obviously Wokes also played extremely well in that fourth innings, but it's probably overstating Wokes' ability with the bat, which then when you have him coming in after Butler, who probably isn't quite good enough or doesn't have the right state of mind to play test match cricket, that puts the England middle order, or sort of start of their bottom, the sort of tail enders. It puts them under a lot of pressure.
So I guess one of the other things we can kind of get into is we've been having these weekly COVID cancellation updates. And I guess the newest one now is NCAA football. And I really don't need to touch on it too much just because it's basically the same thing now happening for every sport. But at least in the NCAA football, which I think is a really, really unique situation because one, it's not a professional sport where you can kind of isolate these people. You have hundreds of teams and tons of student athletes who are living in dorms and apartments all over the place with other students. And you don't have the financial aspect that you do in professional sports. So I don't know if the NCAA is going to be able to contain like basketball and hockey can. And so far it seems like, none of the Power 5 conferences have canceled their fall sports yet, have canceled football in particular yet, but the MAC has already, and players in the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have already kind of put out things saying that they need assurances, that it's going to be safe and things like that. So, are we going to have an NCAA football season? What do you think?
I think it's too early to say with any confidence, but if I have to choose yes or no, I'd probably choose no. I think it's for starters, what makes college sports unique is just the sheer number of teams you're talking about is huge. And then to further complicate that, is one thing when you're talking about, elite college football programs where a lot of those players will be thinking about their professional careers. But in other instances, you'll be talking about smaller college programs where most of those people don't have a future in football. So then at a certain time, you've also just got to be start to plan for the rest of your life. So if you're coming back as a senior and you think, am I going to play in this sort of semi-disorganized final season? Or do I want to start just really focusing on what am I going to do now?
Yeah, to me, that's the main thing that I am not understanding what these players are doing. I get that you want to be the college player who is all for his college. I want to play for Clemson. I want to do this. But I don't understand in any right mind why Trevor Lawrence wants to play this season as the quarterback for Clemson. He's already projected to be a top 3 draft pick. All this potentially could do is he could go play and he could get hurt just because he's playing an extra season. He could get hurt because they're not being able to practice as much because of all the rules and regulations. He could take this year off as a top 3 draft pick already, go train the entire year. He knows he's going to get a ton of money, so he can take out a loan if he doesn't have any money, pay, like honestly, get something to go pay for him to sit in Phoenix, Arizona and train
just in
every
case
day.
Trevor Lawrence is listening, please don't take Frank as your financial advisor.
I mean, come on. You could do whatever you needed to. Just sit out in Phoenix, Arizona, or LA, where all the training facilities are. Train all year, and you're still going to be the top 3 draft pick. I mean, why?
Well,
I don't get it.
You're assuming that game time isn't important for a player's development, and I think you'd argue, particularly for a quarterback, that
pressure moments, right?
Not even pressure moments. It's just.
But he's got enough on his resume.
It's not. No. Here, there's 2 different factors here. Will he be a top 3 pick no matter what? 100%. And I mean, like, even the situation with Tua kind of shows you that, because Tua had a really severe injury, sat out a year, and still was a first round draft pick. So, and Trevor Lawrence, his stock is even higher than Tua's was at Tua's sort of prime in college football. So you got to separate what will change in the draft for you from what will change in terms of how good of a player you are. And so you are asking a player at a key stage in their development to go a whole year without playing in a competitive football match. Yeah, okay, he can have training sessions and he can just get a lot of coaching and he can probably work on a number of things, but he won't actually have a situation where it's a game that matters and it's 3rd and long. What are you going to do? Or it's a game that matters and you've started off slowly and thrown a couple picks. How do you bounce back? He's probably good enough that it doesn't really matter, but if I were a player in that situation, it would concern me that I was missing out on a really vital year of development.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think if you're a first round draft pick, I don't know why you'd want to risk, because all right, I mean, maybe first round is a little extreme, but if you're a top 50, say you're a top 3 running back, they have enough on video to know what you can do on the field. A lot of that just ends up being what you run in the combine if you're going to be the number 2 or number 3 taken. So why risk getting hurt when instead you can train for the combine for a whole year? They have you on film. I don't understand why a lot of these players are.
We're in agreement here, right? But we're
no, I understand with the development, but like for a running back, like, are you really going to develop more in that 1 year in college versus?
I don't know. I've never been a college running back, but I'm going to guess that like in any sport, a year of not playing your sport competitively is going to have an impact on how good you can be.
People come back from torn ACLs all the time with a year of not playing.
But when you have a 21, 22, 23-year-old who has a torn ACL and misses a year, it's not just a question of will they physically get back to the same level. It's also the question of have they really missed out. And you see players who get injured and that it just kind of stalls their development as a player, not just because of a physical loss, but just from the fact that you go, oh, okay, that was that moment when you were supposed to be learning that or picking up on that or having when your gut instinct can kick in as to what you're supposed to do, and you've lost a year of that.
Will it affect the NFL in any way if the college side of things decides to stop? Because I guess it's kind of twofold really, as what Eddie was saying about are you going to see like a slight quality dip next year because of this? You're going to have players that don't play when they're going to be drafted anyway, right? And then you're going to have the players that are like opting out this season in the NFL itself that are going to come back. Like, are you going to see a worse NFL next season because of like the potential lack of college football and all the dropouts we're seeing at the moment?
It's hard to tell. I think for the average football fan, the differences are going to be indistinguishable. There might be if you're a coach or something and you just think that your team is not quite as well oiled as it otherwise would have been. I know already, right, that's a criticism because in the kind of OTAs and preseason stuff that they do over the last few years, they've cut back on how much they can do. And you get someone like Bill Belichick basically talking about the fact that he's still using week 1 or week 2 of the regular season as fundamentally as preseason. So that might, and now you've stripped away the preseason totally from them basically. So it might kind of feel in week 6 as if you're in this weird preseason, regular season limbo for some teams. In terms of the long-term impact now, I mean, the one thing that it would do for the NFL. They don't play games on Saturdays normally because of the fact that college football plays on Saturdays, and that's the agreement that they have with them. This would open up the possibility for the NFL to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday if they wanted to, which from a sort of scheduling standpoint is probably nice for them because it gives them just more flexibility. And also in terms of then selling the TV rights, I don't know if they can renegotiate some deals if they were televising more games in separate time slots, but you might be able to compensate for some of the lack of revenue from fans not being there by having every game televised in an individual slot.
Ooh, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
I love that prospect, Eddie. Eddie, can you run that up the table?
I'll call Goodell afterwards and suggest it. I'm sure I'm the first person to have had that idea.
Oh man, just 4 straight days of football would be.
Well, there was a ton of records.
Glorious.
There was a ton of records for the Premier League as well, and the FA Cup and things like that, because they were allowed to spread it out over so much time during this past month that some of the television records have just been smashed with people watching. Like FA Cup semi-finals were pretty mega. Some of the free-to-air stuff that like Amazon did and things like that. I think it was probably one of the things that saved the Premier League TV deal, because I know they were on course to lose, what was it, so much stupid like $250 million or something if they didn't play as much as they did or the whole season. So
yeah, I guess the argument too for why television viewing figures go up is also because people had fewer things to do. So, during confinement, during the pandemic, people were just going out less. So if you stick and also have gone through a period where there was nothing to do, so had probably gone through everything they ever wanted to watch on Netflix, everything they wanted to watch on Hulu, everything they wanted to watch on Amazon, and then sort of some sport comes back and they go, do you know what? I am going to watch Crystal Palace Watford, even though I normally never would, because I literally have nothing else to do with my life.
Yeah. And they've already said next season that everything goes back to normal, like absolutely everything. I think they've even said that the Saturday block, they're not even, because UEFA basically said to them, like, if the UK, well, English football wants to get rid of its Saturday 3 p.m. ban, they're fine. But I don't think the Premier League's taken them up on it. So it sounds like that's coming back as well.
United have qualified, by the way, just to finish 1-0. So United are through to the next round. Inter qualified earlier today. So that's the two remaining sort of European giants, I guess, left. Obviously, that's not trying to be disrespectful to Sevilla, who play Wolves tomorrow, but the two favorites have both progressed.
Did you have Man U to qualify or Man U to win?
Neither.
Oh. So you didn't have any money on Man U?
So you had Copenhagen?
Yeah, I'm a huge, I really enjoyed my couple of trips to Denmark, and I'm just, infatuated with Danish football now.
So what's next on the football calendar? We've got the Champions League coming back up, and the other Europa League tomorrow, if I remember right.
Yeah, you have the two remaining quarterfinals tomorrow, and then you've got the Champions League quarterfinals. Obviously they finished off the last 16 at the weekend. The kind of all went to form with the exception of Juventus, who did not qualify, despite the fact that Sam was so confident that he said there was more value in Juventus to qualify than them just not to win.
Hey, stand by it. It just didn't work out.
Well, actually, to me, that's the surprising thing is that, it wasn't just that Juventus missed chances. I think Lyon were good value for qualifying. Over the two legs, arguably they were the better side. So it wasn't just an instance where maybe, a team didn't take their chances or their dominance didn't, translate into goals. Lyon were good value. Yeah.
What was it? Lyon only played like 2 games before, and they did well against PSG, took them all the way. And then they had the, I can't remember the other game they played. They played 2 games, didn't they? And they looked really good in both of them. So, yeah. And then you got Man City through, looked pretty good. I think the manner that they beat Real Madrid over 2 legs was really good, actually. I think they looked really strong. Bayern did the business like they were always going to against an English club, right? And
well, I don't want to throw that in as against an English club. I think against the fourth best team in the Premier League, who also were missing several key players.
No,
You know,
but I'm just saying that it was a dead rubber, right? So as we said on the previous podcast, that
Lampard didn't think so. Lampard said he wouldn't have been there if he didn't think Chelsea could qualify.
and that worked out well.
So what would he have done? Just not taking the team?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just not turned up. Just
Save
put
the
like
airline
11,
tickets.
Just
just
gone on
put
his
11
holidays.
scarecrows on the pitch.
Well, you could argue that that's what he did.
11 Batman scarecrows, or
Yeah,
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
11 Killian Murphys
with
with
just
sacks.
potato sacks over their head?
11 penguins.
Oh my
But,
god,
yeah,
there's
but
some
yeah,
sort
next-
of weird like hostage situation. You've just got these people like with the sacks on their head. Oh dear.
But no, it's a nice lineup of football. You know, the Champions League now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, one match. Obviously not, single-legged ties. So you've got, you're definitely going to have some close matches, probably extra time, maybe penalties. It's
It's only one match.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
anyone like
neutral venue, one match.
Oh, I like that.
So in a way, you could, I think, definitely as a neutral watching all of these, because obviously Blackburn aren't in the Champions League.
Oh, they didn't make it this year?
Not this year.
Okay.
They're just biding their time.
or next. Or next. Or the one after that.
But they're just biding their time. But in a way, sometimes the two-legged ties are a bit dull because either, it takes, if you do feel like there's a team that's likely to qualify, take City Lyon, for example. Over two legs, I'd be really confident that City will qualify because you would just think over 180 minutes of football, they'll be too good and they'll score goals. But in a 90-minute match, if Lyon score first or if City just sort of struggle a bit, who knows what happens. So I think if you are, as a neutral, going to watch a match, the single elimination, one fixture is a much more interesting way to watch them.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
But then as a football fan, you have to appreciate the two-leg better because then the better team is advancing. I mean, it's like with hockey. Anyone can win a hockey game, but they play a best of 7, and most hockey enthusiasts love a best of 7 because at the end of the day, the better team will prevail in 7 games versus 1.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's much more likely that a team either, sort of overperforms for 90 minutes and goes through or just gets lucky. Either one of those things could happen, but I still think it's just more exciting.
Yeah.
And obviously all the teams at this stage are very good. So it's not as if you've got some, Linfield haven't snuck their way into the Champions League quarterfinals and thinking, well, if we just back to the wall for 90 minutes, maybe we'll knock out Barcelona.
You just looked at Linfield playing tomorrow, didn't you?
No, I didn't. But they are playing in the Champions League qualifying stage, aren't they?
It's such a weird, surreal thing, isn't it? Because you've got the current Champions League not finished, but you've got next season's Champions League already going through its qualification. So
it confused me on Friday when I was waiting for the Champions League, and I, in my head I was confident, they both kick off at 9:00 here, and then I remember looking on Flash Scores and seeing the Champions League section with the little red dot of there was a match in running, and I thought, oh, have I mixed this up? And they're playing like the City Real Madrid game first, and then playing the second match afterwards, the Juventus Lyon match. And I looked at it, I was like, oh no, it's Champions League qualifiers for next season. And it was Linfield or something like that playing.
It's good. So tomorrow we got a little preview. So you got Donetsk v Basel and Wolves Sevilla, which is definitely the better of the two ties. What's your
well, that's a regional bias over there, Sam.
It is
no.
A regional bias.
I think Wolves. No, I just think Wolves Sevilla's they're two better teams than Donetsk and Basel.
I expect
pretty boring to watch, though.
Yeah, I expect Sevilla to go through. I honestly couldn't give you an educated opinion on Donetsk or Basel. I would edge towards Donetsk, but I would be very little confidence in Shakhtar Donetsk on that one. But if I had to make a selection, I would go for that.
I was going to say it because it's in the neutral venue, but Donetsk haven't played in Donetsk for years, have they? Because of the
but I guess even when they're not playing in Donetsk and they're playing somewhere in Russia, they are, or not Russia. Sorry,
they're playing.
Sorry.
I mean,
That's a
sorry to
Freudian
all our
slip.
Ukrainian viewers.
That's a Freudian slip there.
we do not legitimize the free
No, as far
area
as
of
I'm
Donetsk as
concerned,
part of the Russian
Donetsk
Federation.
is part of Russia.
Well, we just lost our Ukrainian fan.
Yeah, but Putin just sponsored this podcast, so the money
Who
is
needs
flowing
Barstool
in.
when you've got Putin?
I just logged into our PayPal and it has ballooned. We need to talk to someone quickly.
Yeah, we're gonna be Borscht Stool. Okay, guys, I'm here all week.
I'm gonna go Wolves. I think, like you say, the 90 minutes. I think Sevilla are slightly better, but I think I'm going to go Wolves over 90 minutes.
I'll go Sevilla.
Yeah, Sevilla. Proven quality in European Cup ties. Probably the better team, and on top of that, the experience in European Cup ties. It's expecting a lot of Wolves to get it done, but it wouldn't stun me if Wolves qualified, but I would feel, I think Sevilla are firm favorites.
And then we work on to Atalanta PSG and Leipzig Atletico Madrid. What were we all thinking?
I think we discussed it before. I think that PSG are sort of favorites. I don't think the Mbappe situation, I think he will be playing, but I don't know if it's clear just how fit he is. But assuming Mbappe is playing some role, I think they are, definitely the better side. But Atalanta have played really well this season, so it's one of those ones where, in terms of their performance in Serie A and how well they've actually at times done against the other big teams in Serie A, you could make the argument that they are the better side in many ways. But because they don't have the same name recognition that another Italian side would have, or that PSG have in this instance, it seems strange to pick Atalanta to knock PSG out. But the reasoning for that might have nothing to do with the actual players or the form going into the tie.
Yeah, I think the 90 minutes helps them as well. Over two legs, you would more favour PSG in the scenario. I think this format really favours Atalanta if they are going to qualify. So I think it gives them a better opportunity, for sure.
For me, I think this one just falls on what PSG team shows up. Like, Atalanta is a good squad, and they have played well this year, but is it going to be the PSG that couldn't score against Lyon in 120 minutes? Or is it going to be the team that puts 5 up in the first half? I think it's going to be either those ones where PSG wins 3-1 and it's like, oh, that's how good we know PSG is, or they come out and play like absolute shit because they just don't care and it's, they lose 0-1 or something like that. I think it's more on them, is like, what team are we going to see? And I don't know, like, it's scary to pick right now because I don't know what team is going to play, especially if Mbappe doesn't play, then that really makes me nervous.
Did you see the Leipzig Madrid? Did you see, what is it, Correa and Verasco? Is it Verasco? I can't remember. I never remember how to pronounce his name, but it's Sime, the guy that's spelled like VRKSAGIO or something like that. Sime. They both tested positive for COVID, so they're not traveling, which definitely weakens Atletico. But can you really see Leipzig winning without Werner? That would be my fundamental issue with Leipzig, to be honest.
It's a big blow. It's definitely a big blow. But I don't think Atletico Madrid are so good that it's impossible. But it's definitely a blow for them. But you would have to say, and this is not meant to be disrespectful to any of the sides involved, but if one of the Champions League semifinals ends up being Atalanta against Leipzig, I don't think it's going to draw as we were talking about matches breaking TV viewing figures. I don't think that one is going to break many records.
Yeah.
And then he got the big one next after that. Actually,
what?
Yeah.
Bayern Barcelona. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Because in that one, you've basically got the consistency of Bayern, their kind of lethal efficiency. They don't have any glaring weaknesses anywhere on the pitch against a Barcelona team that looks frail, but that has Messi.
frail.
They could.
I see just like a bunch of like like really skinny, emaciated players like trying to kick the ball, and their legs are breaking off as they're kicking the ball because they're so weak.
The team's aging, right?
Yeah, rapidly.
They're aging at 50 years to the day.
Yeah, they had to bring Pele back. When I say back, not as if he played for Barcelona before, but he's been called out of retirement to fill in their squad. But it's just a difficult one. I mean, even against Napoli, and Barcelona played well, and Messi was very good, but Napoli looked dangerous, and it looked for a long time in the match that Napoli were going to kind of get back into the tie. If I were Bayern Munich, I'd look at that and think, obviously we have to be worried about Messi and some of the other attacking players that they have, but I think Bayern Munich will definitely feel confident that they can score a couple of goals.
I like the over in this one. Give me over 3.5.
No.
I mean, what do you mean by give you?
You give it to me, and if it wins, you give me the money. If it loses, we handshake.
Oh, is it, or is this? Are you going to go against Sam the Squid on your Champions League predictions as well?
Yeah.
And if I win, does that mean we don't ever talk about football again?
Well, if we keep that up, we're not going to be able to talk about anything. We're going to just become a Batman podcast.
I'm fine with that.
Just cricket and Batman the movie.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But none of the bowling. We never talk about bowling and cricket. It's only the batting. Yeah,
we'll call it Alfred. And all we'll talk about is either Joss Butler or Batman.
It's gonna run dry quickly.
I mean, you can appreciate that. That was at least quick enough to come up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it will be an interesting one in the semifinal, obviously, too. Saying that maybe on one side the draw might not be quite as interesting, but the prospect of City against Bayern Munich, and obviously the added interest of that's Guardiola playing against Bayern, which just adds a little bit of extra spice there. That's an interesting one.
A couple of weeks ago, we both took City to win that game, didn't we?
Yeah, I think I think City will be slight favorites, but it will definitely be a very good match. City are currently favorites to win the Champions League.
I'll go burger and a pint against that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Against both of you, I got to do?
Yeah. You have to buy Sam the Squid calamari.
So calamari and a pint and a burger and a pint. I'm going against City. If they match up.
Okay.
Wait. So as a squid, I would eat squid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you eat human now?
Only in some ways. We won't get into Sam's personal life too much.
Yeah, I'm taking Bayern Munich.
Wait,
over City?
No. I think Bayern Munich. I actually feel really comfortable with them against Barcelona.
Yeah, no, I'd be surprised. I think it's one of those that you just feel a bit scared at times
because of Messi.
Because of Messi and just Barcelona and their history. Not to say that Bayern Munich don't have an equally prestigious history, but there is just that fear factor there that you feel like Messi is still probably the best player on the pitch. And if you sort of told me next week that one player had this incredible performance and dragged his team to the semifinal of the Champions League, and I had to guess who it was, my first guess would be Messi. So that's the scary aspect of it. But still, when you really go 11v11 and you think how many Barcelona players would, on current form or not, last 6 months, 12 months of football, would make the Bayern Munich side, it's not a lot.
Yeah, and then the last one, we kind of already touched. I think we're all taking City in that one, right?
Yeah, you'd be. If City slip up there, then.
And
that's not Lyon. Lyon are a very capable side, but if City slip up in that one, there'll be no excuses for them. If you get to a Champions League quarterfinal and you have to play a team that I think even the most passionate Lyon supporter probably wouldn't say they're one of the best 10 sides in Europe. So if you're in a Champions League quarterfinal and you're not playing one of the top 10, you have to be happy with the situation that you have.
And I mean, City are like 1-4 to win that game, so it's pretty obvious what bookmakers.
So do you go -1?
Well, United were 1-4 to beat Copenhagen tonight, and look how that turned out. So.
I wouldn't take. I think Lyon are a good enough side to not be. I'd probably rather take Lyon +1 than I would Man City -1.
Ooh.
I'll
go calamari and a Peroni against that.
Wait, why is he suddenly an Italian squid now?
Well, it just seems fitting. If I'm having a bit of calamari in the summer, I want a nice, refreshing Peroni. And that gives me the chance to say that this podcast was brought to you by Peroni.
By Squid.
Yeah.
And Squids,
I think I'm going to do my classic City bet of City up at half.
I would be more inclined to take Bayern -1 as well against Barca. I'd feel more confident than City -1.
I mean, you also have to factor in the dynamic, right? It's a single knockout match, so
yes,
the handicap becomes more interesting because obviously a team down 1 by a goal with 10 minutes to play has to throw everything forward. So if you are any of these teams, if you are thinking about, Barcelona -1 goal, becomes, vastly more interesting in this context than it would in a 2-legged tie, because you know that Bayern Munich or Atalanta or PSG, if they're losing, they just have to throw everything forward. They have nothing to lose. So the -1.5 becomes a more interesting bet in any scenario. But I would also conversely makes the +1.5 a less interesting prospect.
I just think 1-4 it's a neutral venue as well. So City lose that advantage, I guess, in that respect. But
well, it's hard to argue, to be honest with you. It's hard to argue that City have home field advantage normally.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Lyon have played 3 really good games on their return, and I could see them losing but still playing really well.
I want to know what this third match is.
They played I feel like they played like Saint-Etienne or something. I just want to say, I swear
that was the powerhouse of France.
They played a couple of friendlies. I think they beat Rangers in a friendly, I think, off the top of my head.
No, Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers, that famous Russian team. I think they have a ground share with Shakhtar Donetsk.
So it was.
I think there's a Danish team
before
called
PSG.
Randers.
They beat Antwerp 3-2.
Ah.
Oh, the mighty Antwerp.
The mighty Antwerp. Yeah.
Did they play Rangers?
They played Celtic.
Oh, okay, close enough.
And beat them and demolished them 2-1.
Wow.
2-1.
Well, if you then look at the form of Celtic slipping up at the weekend.
Yeah, Drew with Kilmarnock, didn't they?
Oh, God.
That makes that doesn't exactly frank the form of Lyon's recent matches.
Thanks for using my name in there.
Was the Kilmarnock Celtic game at lunch? Because that's one of my betting curses.
No,
Celtic at lunchtime.
It was the late Sunday afternoon match. So Rangers had already played and Rangers had already won, and then Celtic played and drew 1-1.
That might be one of the most obvious things that I keep doing, but for some reason keep losing but never stop, is you just see this like 1-6 team at 12 o'clock and you're like, well, why not? And then they go and draw 1-1, and it's just the Celtic lunchtime game is one of the most infuriating things in my gambling. And I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the two things, right? So it's the idea, A, that you kind of get one out of the way early on, which is always nice. And then B, it gives you a reason to watch this football match that you probably otherwise wouldn't watch. So if it's sort of Celtic against Hibs, and you think, I probably wouldn't watch this normally, but I'll watch it now.
It matters more when there's money on it, right?
Exactly.
So it's always good. That's always one of my favorite betting slogans that was created.
Even though they're now obviously doing all of the when the fun stops stuff. And I mean, almost every gambling ad tells you to take a break, set your deposit limits.
Bet responsibly.
Yeah, please bet responsibly.
Whereas before it was like, if you when the fun stops, double down.
Yeah, exactly. When the fun stops, it means you can just have more fun.
When the fun stops, you're just not betting enough.
Exactly. But no, it is an interesting transformation in the betting industry because obviously you used to have just the halftime ads of Messi to score the next goal, 7-1. Spurs to come back and win 3-1, 15-1, and they were just like pumping this idea into you constantly. So
I bet 365 ones with like Ray Winston.
Ray Winston, just his massive head coming onto your screen, like projected behind this kind of hologram of football that was going on, as if Ray Winston was some footballing god, like the deity that controlled the footballing world and was encouraging you, like, just so you know, God Winston has told you that Messi is the most likely next goal scorer.
Gambling you're right actually about that kind of transformation though, because what is it, like 30, 40 years ago in the UK, where obviously gambling is really prevalent with all the bookmaker shops, you couldn't advertise that you're a bookmaker. So all the bookmakers they were just kind of blacked out, if that makes sense. It was almost akin to like walking into like a porno or something like that, like a porn, like a sex shop.
How many?
Like walking into like a porno. No, yeah.
I think Sam, you watch a very unique type of porn.
Gambling porn.
Yeah,
1970s gambling porn.
We obviously know that you maybe have a different taste to us in some respects. But I still like the idea that your fantasy is you like walk in and go like, "Hey, can you do a price check on the 245 at Haydock for me?" And did you bring your own betting pencil? Well, I guess you could say I did. And then it just kicks off.
Show you my Yankee.
I'll give you a price boost if you just slip behind the counter here for a couple minutes.
Just get your FOBT out. But I just
betting used to be like that. I picture Sam walking into a cafe to try and get, like a coffee. He walks in, just filming a porno. Oh, sorry. Did I walk into another porno? Oh my God, I do this every week.
It's so frustrating.
It's a bit confusing given the fact that you worked in a bookies at Ladbrokes for several years. Were you just waiting for the big? Did you think you'd been hired as like a fluffer or something?
Well, it was just one big set. It was just one big constant set. I was always curious about why there were so many security cameras.
Yeah, he was just like, wow, the scene must be about to start. I guess I'm just never in it. I'm just B-roll in this particular porno. To add realism to it. It's like no one will take our porn seriously if we don't have at least 12 hours of just a man sitting behind a desk taking actual bets.
Or maybe there's a lot of porno out there with Sam superimposed into it. Like they take the screen so it looks like Sam is in the scene, but he's just sitting in the booth behind. Just watching.
Just how he likes it.
Yeah,
just watching them do it on the virtual roulette.
Yeah,
I'm in the background. I'm not good for the spotlight. Yeah, I'm kind of.
Yeah, he was just always hoping, like there would be those scenes where the guy goes, "I've just lost my last bet. How am I going to be able to pay for lunch?" And Sam would go, "Oh, I'll give you £20 if you do a few things for me."
Oh, that's too obvious. No, that's too.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that didn't meet your.
No. You need to get creative. You need to say something about
it needs to transform into a real art form there, I guess.
Yeah, I've got a Tesco sandwich behind the counter.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with
gambling. Don't call me Sam the Squid for nothing.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
You want a taste of my prawn cocktail?
No, it's got to be gambling orientated. You got to do something like.
Or calamari.
I'll show you a lucky 15.
Yeah, I think he wouldn't understand that. He'd be like, "What are you talking about?" He'd be like, "Yeah, no, get behind here. I'll show you my lucky 15. Yeah, sorry, I don't understand you. I'm just trying to have a bet on the next race. No, come on, get behind the counter. I'll show you my lucky 15.
I'm just trying to have sex with someone.
Yeah, and the guy would be like, "Nah, I still don't get it. I just want to put this bet on, please." And he'd be like, "Just get behind the counter and blow me."
Damn, does that make us explicit? I thought we were going to get to the end of this one without being explicit.
Every one of our episodes is explicit. I just check the explicit tag on every episode so that we never get into trouble.
You've just made it that, so.
I would say that actually most of our episodes probably aren't really explicit, So in other words, it's fine for our listeners to play this for their young children.
Really? Really?
Yeah, why not? What's the worst?
Sam, what was the biggest bet you ever took as a bookie?
12 inches.
Did you win?
Well, nobody wins
when,
with 12
when,
inches.
when 12 inches is involved, nobody loses.
Yeah. I probably I probably took bigger, but we're going to take that one in context and say I think the biggest that I remember is that I took 10K on Frankel and the Queen Anne.
To pay back what, 4?
It was 1-9 at the time. So what you win in there, like 1100. I think you win in about 1100 on a 1-9 shot.
Go ahead, Eddie. Give us your saying.
I think I've already said it, haven't I already? But yeah, no. Where else? You're not going to get a bank that pays you returns of 15% in 2.5 minutes.
Did you get that tattooed?
What was the biggest ever paid out? Did you ever cash out a big one? Damn it, a big
I have
bet.
never known gambling to be this kind of like suggestive.
How could it not be in all those bookmaker porns you watch?
Yeah, for like 5 years in a bookie, I was in a constant porno. Yeah, I never saw it as this suggestive.
Gonna have to ask Ollie what he was up to.
I don't know. Well, we were just playing Football Manager for most
Ollie
of it.
is definitely the director.
Wow.
He just has the hair for it. He just looks like a director.
See, the sad thing is for people who don't know Ollie, which is most of our listeners, the idea of probably what they're imagining as a porn director, you're kind of thinking of like a Hollywood director, not a sleazy porn director.
No, he's a high-end porn director.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's like getting like really nice escorts.
Did you ever see he's like, you know who he is? He's like the guy in Girl Next Door that Timothy Olyphant plays. That's what he is. He's the director.
Wow, you're comparing him to Timothy Olyphant. That's a real compliment.
I was going to say that the viewers have probably got like Ollie now as like a Ron Jeremy type looking person.
Who knows what Ollie looks like? He's fallen off the face of the earth anyway.
Yes, isn't he?
Ollie, if you're listening, send one of us a text message so we know you're okay.
Yeah, light a signal
We
fire.
miss you.
Just do something. Just do something. Let us know you're okay. Put a flare up in the air.
So what was the biggest bet you ever cashed?
I think I'm certain I've paid out 6 figures before on like a treble or something like that, like a fourfold. I'm pretty, or like a lucky 15, maybe like 4 selections.
Did you say 6 fingers?
No, I didn't say anything close to that actually. I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've paid. Like, I'm trying to think of when.
Do you even write the check in that situation?
Okay, the British banking system is a lot more advanced than the American. Like, you wouldn't give someone you would bank it, yeah, or you would do like a part. So someone, maybe you'd be able to pay them like 10 grand, and then they'd have like 90K on their account or something like that. But yeah, I've paid that before. You know, in bookmakers they do that kind of lottery that they run. I think I paid someone who did like a Yankee. I think I paid him like 20 grand or something like that. They've got
So this
all
was a
4
porno
numbers.
where an English person did an American?
Lottery.
You really did a number on that Yankee. I'll give you 20 grand for that one. We're gonna be able to clip that into 4 movies.
Yeah. What the hell is a Yankee?
Do you not know
It's just a multiple.
It's
like
a lucky 15 without the
the
singles. It's a lucky 15 without the singles.
Okay.
So it's 4-fold, 3 treble. It's 11 bets. So it's a 4-fold, and then whatever the rest is. Yeah.
Wow, way to bail on that one.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't anything anyway.
No, I know.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Hey, I'm going to give you all these details. No,
Yeah.
I'm not. I've lost interest in myself.
So there you go. Wait, you've got all the sayings over in the US betting wise, haven't you? Like patent.
Parlays, exacta, trifecta.
Superfecta.
You have a superfecta.
Yeah, it's the first 4 in a horse race. Anything else?
But anyway, who are we hoping then? So we Peroni sponsored this week's podcast. for all of you out there listening, even young children, go out, grab yourself a Peroni. Really hot weather at the moment. It's very refreshing.
It's light alcohol anyway.
Nice cool Peroni on a warm summer's day. Nothing beats it.
What about a Bulmers on Ice?
Bulmers haven't sponsored us yet, so I'm refusing to plug them. No free ads here.
If Bulmer sponsored us and they could ship it to me, that would be the greatest sponsorship.
We're in advanced talks at the moment with Sayat, so we'll see.
Can they ship a Sayat full of Bulmers to Arizona?
That would probably triple the value of the Sayat, so I doubt it.
Whatever it would still be cheaper to send that than it would be Land Rollers.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Well,
Land Rollers reached out. I'm a brand ambassador now. I didn't want to bring you guys in. They listened to the podcast and they heard all the bad things you had to say. So it's just a private deal for me.
Okay.
The problem with Land Rollers sending Land Rollers is that they'd have to reopen the factory and start remaking them again.
You can imagine the guy walking in, like turning the key, and all these cobwebs, the lighting coming on for the first time in 30 years.
Oh, har. Here we go, guys. Rip into this just because I got a brand sponsorship deal and you guys don't have one.
I mean, it can't.
But you even touched on it, Frank. Land Roller, not far away from Land Rover. So I'm only a slip of the tongue away from a sponsorship deal that everybody wants.
That's suggestive.
Yeah, you've said that before, haven't you, Sam? Sam the Squid has been a slip of the tongue away from a few things.
All right, Sam, make sure you don't read up any hockey related.
Oh, there won't be any sort of concern. Yeah, there won't be any concern of that happening.
I know that you're normally just bombarded with nonstop ice hockey, but just don't watch the TV. Probably don't even open your laptop for the next 48 hours. Just really try to avoid it.
I might just power down my house. And no electricity, no nothing. I might just hibernate for
put yourself into a medically induced coma for the next 2 days, just to be on the safe side, because we don't really want to ruin this bit.
If only we were big enough that we could have someone create little Instagram pictures of Sam's face on a squid in different situations. It would be really fun.
It might be our first merch. Might have to be Sam the Squid t-shirts.
It depends. If I do win, it might actually be like
Sam the
Squid beats Duca.
No. If you win, we might have to have Sam the Squid merch.
If you win, the one could be. Do you ever see like the picture of the giant squid that's attacking the whale? It can be like the NHL logo, and it could be Sam the Squid attacking the NHL logo.
Well, I mean, why would he be attacking the NHL? I think he'd be attacking you.
Because he took the NHL by its balls.
No, Frank. He'll be taking you by your balls. Let's be fair. This will not be a critique of the NHL if Sam gets it right. This will be a critique of you.
Yeah. Am I walking into another hockey porno?
You are.
Oh, this isn't where I parked my car.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one talking about ball grabbing.
Yeah. Hey, there's no balls in hockey.
Shut the puck
Good
up.
one.
Yeah, sorry. I was just flying out there.
All right. Well, don't forget to rate us and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and now rate us and subscribe on Spotify officially. If you want to see a little more about us, they can go on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at what is it, Eddie?
We don't have Facebook, but yeah.
Oh.
If you're
no
one
one uses Facebook.
If you're a really big fan, create a Facebook fan page for us. Maybe a Wikipedia. How about that? We're missing both of those things. So if you really want to be the first person to receive some Sam the Squid free merch, go out and do that. I'll make sure you then can email me, prove that you created it, and we'll get you a Sam the Squid t-shirt in the mail.
Before bye, I just love the idea of the Sam the Squid free merch just being some cold calamari.
Oh, it will just be a dead squid. Just gonna send an uncooked squid to someone's house, and I'm not even gonna package it properly. No ice or anything. Just stick it in like a yellow envelope and just mail it wherever they are.
I don't even think you do yellow. I think you put it in a Ziploc so everyone can see what you're shipping to them.
Oh, I don't know if they would do that.
No, I would do it like when they're kind of doing when they're doing organ transportation, I would just give it to someone in a cool box in a moped,
No, because
So what you're saying is, instead of someone getting a heart for their heart transplant, they're going to get to the operating table, open it up, and be like, "Oh shit, we got Sam squidded."
Yeah, it's like getting Rick rolled.
Yeah.
It's going to really take over.
Just
It's gonna
someone
really take over.
someone getting really excited for their Sam the Squid merch and just getting a human heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you play it both ways.
Sorry, Lucy, we're not going to be able to get you that heart today.
Unless you want the squid.
But we did get this Sam the Squid beanie.
Beanie.
You can put that on for a while.
Sam the Squid bottle opener.
Before you die, you can have this beanie on.
Here are like fidget spinners or whatever they are. Are they still a thing? We can get some of those.
Sorry, what were they?
The little spinning things, that all the young kids
That's a
were
good
playing
question.
with for a while.
No, I just saw you
I've
having
seen
like
them.
a small stroke as you said it.
Well, I couldn't remember. They're fidget spinners, aren't they? Fidget spinners? Or are they finger spinners?
I think it's fidget.
Fidget.
Spinners,
Fidget, yeah.
Fidget.
So I was just hesitating between the two. But yeah, we could get some Sam the Squid fidget spinners because like it's quite squid-like, right? With you could have like 8 little things sticking off from it so you can spin. Maybe that increases the difficulty so it really takes off. Because people are like, if you can spin a Sam the Squid fidget spinner, you can spin anything.
All right, well, on that,
We'll say
talk
bye
to you boys
again.
in a few days. Have a
See
good
ya.
one.
See you later.